What we are going to talk about now, it's all about your IELTS listening test. I think that listening is quite easy and you can quite easily get 8 band in that. It's not that difficult, okay? Yes. What things are important to improve for you? What are the things that you need to learn? We're going to talk about them, clear? And IELTS, some of the things, there are some of the targeted areas. If you don't focus on them, it becomes very difficult for us to score well in IELTS. So we want to come up with that of complete things that what we will learn now in this class. We will talk about the general information, then we will talk about the test format, we will talk about the type of questions, clear what type of questions will come to you people, then we will talk about some useful notes, clear, and finally we will come also about the marking criteria. Get it? So these are the basic information for today's class that we will inshallah cover up in this one. IELTS listening, either if you are for IELTS academic or IELTS general. So listening is same. There is no difference in listening. And this listening module is the first module in your IELTS listening test. Like either if you want to go on paper test, paper based, or CD, clear, computer delivered test. In both of them, clear, either you are for the normal IELTS test or IELTS UKVI. So first of all, the first module you will be provided with, that would be what? It would be about listening test. Get it? And there is no difference, as I mentioned earlier, there is no difference in general and academic, clear? So we want to talk about, as I mentioned earlier, the listening module is the same for both the versions of the IELTS test, clear? This one is well for this one, so there is no difference for both of you. Then I mentioned that in IELTS, clear, this is the first module. Listening is the first module, clear? You will go through this part. Now, your listening test, it's a multiple tasking test. There will be multiple of tasks, clear, that you are supposed to perform. In the IELTS listening test, you are required to clear, to attentively listen to a tape recording, read questions on the paper, clear, and write your answer simultaneously. Listening portion, once the test gets started, clear, first of all, it's audio, not video. And then audio is played how many times? Only once. Clear? It will be played only one time. Yeah, you will have headphones. Clear? There will be headphones with you people. So, your listening test, it's audio recording, not video recording. Clear? It will be audio recording. And for that part, how many parts we will have in your listening? There will be 4 parts. The number of parts, clear, we call them parts. There are 4 parts. Before, like, even like if you check out your own books, the practice books, clear, the Cambridge one, they would have been written sections. But in real tests, they have changed. Like in 2020, they brought 2 changes in the listening portion. One of the changes, it was about that they changed from section to part. That's not a big change, clear? Because either if you listen section or if you listen part, it does not make any difference. Am I right? Yes. Clear? So they have changed. Second change they have brought, like in part 1 of your listening, clear, that section 1, they would have given you about an example. But now you will not find an example there. It will straight directly your listening test will be started. So there is no examples, clear? So how many parts we have? There are 4 parts. Get it? And the number of questions, we will have how many questions? There would be 40 questions. There would be 40 questions, clear? And the time you will be given, that would be 40 minutes time, clear? Total time you will have how much time? 40 minutes time. And that 40 minutes time, 30 minutes time, your listening will be played, clear, through your headphones, your speaker, and 10 extra minutes time will be provided to you. Listening is the only part, clear? This is the only portion where you are supposed to write down your answers on the question paper, on your question booklet. Clear? You're not supposed to write down your answers on the answer sheet. Do you understand? Clear? Yes. You will not write down your answers on the answer sheet. Once you are done, clear, you have written your answers on the booklet, Then after that, they will provide you how much time? 10 extra minutes time to transfer your answers from your question paper towards what? Your answer sheet. At the end, you will be given extra time, but it will happen only in one module, and that is what? That's listening. You will not find an extra minute time in your reading and writing. Clear? This is clear to all of you. So now, let me explain it a bit to you people. In your listening, as I mentioned there, how many parts we will have? Part 1. We will have 4 parts. Part 1, Part 2, Part 3, and Part 4. This is the nature of IELTS. This is the nature of IELTS. As you move clear further in the test get a bit of tough, difficult. Clear? This is overall, like if you look at your speaking part, so part 1 of your speaking is easier than 2 and then 3. Even like if you come with your reading part, clear? So in reading, passage 1 is easier than passage 2 is easier than that of your passage 3. And if you move with that of another part you are writing, so in writing, task 1 is easier than that of your task 2. So the same is the case. Part 1 is the easiest part in your listening portion. And then part 2, then you will come with part 3, and then you will move with that last final one that is called part 4. Our main target will be the first 2 parts. Clear? That we should get 10 out of 10. 10 here and 10 here. Get it? 10 out of 10. Because each part, it contains how many questions? 10 each. So total number of questions, you will have how many? There will be 40 questions. The number of questions, clear, you will go through, they are, total number are 40 questions. And as I mentioned, we will try to get these two, 10 out of 10. If not 20, clear, at least we will try to get 18, not less than 18 score. Part 1, it's a type of clear, it's conversation between 2 speakers. How many speakers will talk here? In part 1, there will be 2 people. Clear? How many speakers? 2 people they will talk. Yeah. And this part 1, clear, it's based on a telephonic conversation. It's not face-to-face conversation. Okay? Furthermore, like once we start our practicing, I will give you brief details, clear, how to get 10 out of 10 and the things we will study, but now I'm going to provide you the basic information related to this part, clear? So what we have in part 1, there will be how many people? There will be 2 people, clear, they will talk, but what type of conversation they will have? It should be a telephonic conversation, excellent. Like a type of conversation, suppose you call to the administration of Excel Learners Academy and you want to get information about IELTS. So you will ask about that when new session it gets started, who is the teacher, clear? He will ask about your contact number, about your address, clear? You will ask about the duration of the course. He may ask about your email, get it? So different type of questions will be asked, or the information requires to you, you will ask them and he will provide you, clear? So this type of information will, suppose you call to a hotel and you want to reserve a room for yourself, clear? So you will ask you about, how many people you are, do you need single bed, clear, for how many nights you will stay with us. So all information will be taken from you. Suppose you call to any of the sports club and you want to join any of the sports there, clear, there will be different type of sports played there. And you will give, clear, you will take information on your telephone, clear? For example, you call to a restaurant. So any type of clear information you want to call, but it will be a telephone conversation and it's very, very easy type of things. We will do inshallah, clear? So 2 people are here and as I mentioned, how many questions would be there? There would be 10 questions, clear? Then we come up with it part 2. It means that part 1 is a dialogue. It's what? It's a dialogue. This portion is for the dialogue. The second part, clear, there will be only 1 person, clear? How many people will be there? There will be only 1 person. 1 person will talk there. So from here, we can understand that this is monologue. This is what? Monologue. Monologue means when only 1 person, he talks. Like right now, I talk to you people, so I'm doing this type of conversation is called monologue conversation. But if I ask, we talk later, this is called what? Dialogue type of conversation. So in part 2, we will have only 1 person and it's a type of monologue. Clear? From here, we get the idea that most of the time students, they just start only doing practicing with either with dialogues or monologues. Clear? So from here we can get the idea the students are supposed to practice on both. Clear? To practice on both dialogues and as well as monologues. Get it? Because your book, Claire, your book, it contains, that's why we prefer you people to go for the real Cambridge test books, the practice books, Claire, where you will find exactly the same test where you will appear in the real one. So we don't suggest other tests because that's argue based, one thing, and the second thing, like whatever you will have in the books, that will be the same as exactly the real test. Is it clear? Now, both monologues and dialogues have, it has some advantages as well as some disadvantages. Like if there is a dialogue, Claire, it has got some advantages. And what type of an advantage is it has, Claire? So the advantage for this one with a dialogue, you will have some pauses. Like right now I talk what? Continuously, I don't take any pause. There is no stoppages. I keep talking, Claire. But while having your dialogue, I talk, I will take a break, there will be another person, there will be a break, right? So that's a type of advantages it goes for you people, that there will be type of stoppages, clear, that gate you will find out. And what is the disadvantage for this part? The disadvantage is about an accent, because there will be different accents. Here, the advantage is about the pauses, clear, and the disadvantage is related to the accent. Because one person he talks, he will use one of the accents, another person if he comes, he will use another accent.
Accent will be same, like how is that possible, like two similar persons just in the same country, for example, American accent or British accent?
Look, even like we talk, Claire, why not if you talk in Pashto? The way I talk in Pashto, Claire, and the way you talk in Pashto, Claire, even people like they talk, it cannot be the same. Do you understand? Claire, it can get you confused while even talking in the same language. One person he talks, you understand very clearly what message he wants to convey. But there would be another person you don't understand that much clearly. Am I right? So that's why, like, that could be your disadvantage. Where, so far your monologue is concerned, here, the disadvantage for monologue is you will not have any pauses. And the advantage you will find, that's an accent, Claire, because there will be only one person, and once you get, yourself with that accent familiar, so you can perform very well in your test. Is this clear now? Okay, then we will move with that of your part 3 of your IELTS listening test. In part 3, again it's a dialogue. The number of speakers ranges from 1 till 4 people, Claire. Either 1, 2, 3. Most of the time, like you may find 2 people or 3 people here, right? Or sometimes 4 even. So it means, again, it's a dialogue. And the last one, Claire, again, it's a monologue. You will have only one person. He will speak up, Claire, monologue. And this person, Claire, it could be like a type of university lecture, notes-taking portion, Claire. He will be a lecturer, and you are supposed to take notes, like, are you able to fill in the blanks, Claire, or to complete a table? What type of questions are been given to you? So this is the overall clear structure for your IELTS listening test. Now, the time given to you people, it will be finished almost all these 4 Claire in how much time? In 30 minutes time. It will take 30 minutes time, because it will be played only once. How many times it will be played? Once. Listening will be played only one time, not more than one time. Get it? And once you are done with the question paper, as I told you earlier, you are supposed to write down your answers where? On your question booklet, clear? Not on your answer sheet. After this, so they will give you how much time extra? 10 extra minutes time, clear? To transfer your answers. At that time, you people are supposed to transfer it. Is this clear?
Yes.
Okay, let's come up.
So why they are giving us just like 10 extra minutes?
To transfer your answers from the question paper towards your answer sheet.
You already have transferred your
No, you haven't. You will solve the questions on your question paper. Clear? How can, that's very fast. You will not find time for that, to write on. When you will be using shorthands in writing down your answers. Then how is it possible to write neatly, clean and neat and directly on your answer sheet? That's not possible for you. Clear? So you will first of all solve your questions entirely on what? On your question paper. After that, you will be given extra minutes time to transfer them. Okay, so this thing I have already cleared. You cleared that how many questions will be there and how much time it will take from you people. Then, would be a suppose clear, listen and answer. This portion is for what? In each part section, text is played and the recording clear, and you will have to listen to the recording and answer questions written on your question paper. Clear? While you are listening, you should write your answer on the question part. At the end of the test, you will be asked to transfer your answer on an answering sheet and hand clear in the question paper, because that will be taken from you. The recording are played only once, clear. They include a range of accents, including, like for example, British, Australian, New Zealand and Canadian. There would be different type of accents played for you people, clear. But the test is based off British one, so more the accent they will use about the British, clear. So get familiarized with them. If you have any problem in the listening to the audio during the exam, you must ask the supervisor, clear, immediately that I have this issue, that he should solve your issue at that time. Now, these type of questions you will have. Like this is my section 1. And as I mentioned earlier, that in place of section 1, clear, they will use what? Part 1, clear? And how many questions are there in part 1? You will have 10 questions, clear? You will read clear the words limit. How many words are required from you? Because in the reading and listening part, majority of the students, they make clear mistake in noting down the words limit. You've been asked 2 words and you write 3. You've been asked 1 word and you go for 2, clear? So I will let you know that how to write down the words, clear? We will have 1 lecture as well. Now can you see, this is how like the question, this is for my part 1, clear? This part 1 is finished, then you will move with the part 2. Part 2 type of question, like in part 1, usually you will have your clear, that of your, these type of question like table completion, clear, or sentence completion type of question will be given to you. When you move to part 2, we will talk about one by one, clear. Then you will have 3 different type of question you may. That could be matching one, clear, one type. Another question that could be like multiple choice question, and the third one that would be map or diagram labeling. Clear, 3 different type of question that comes in your part 2. You will study later on about them as well. Then if you move with the section 3, clear, again you may have that of your multiple choice question or flow chart of questions, clear. These 2 type of questions are more probably clear, they can come to you people. And then when you come up with that of part 4, you may have like multiple choice questions, table completion could be there, clear. You may have that of your matching names, clear, different type of question. We will study about them one by one, inshallah.